Oh, awesome.
I can hear it.
Yeah.
It's a much better take than the last one.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is like, it's supposed to be a radio edit, so you're supposed to like talk during this and then turn it
Oh
down
yeah,
as
I
we
was
talk.
trying to fade it out. Look, man, we're still having technical difficulties here, guys. It is 5 o'clock. It's time for After Hours Real Estate. Dude, I just realized if my voice goes out, you'll have to take over the show.
Oh,
But
great. Cool.
awesome. So I'm Chris. I'm a real estate broker in Dripping Springs, Texas, just outside of Austin, Texas. That guy's Steve Babcock, mortgage loan originator and gold and silver and platinum guru and palladium guru. I found out last week. Like the dude knows his precious metals. He's kind of like I'm just going to call you Steven Schmiegel. That's your new name. You're no longer Stevie Ray. You are Stevie Ray Schmiegel. There we go. We got it.
We could come up with a better name than
I
Schmiegel,
don't
but
know,
that's okay.
man.
It's all right.
I don't know. That's pretty good. Guys, Mondays 5 o'clock we get together. The whole idea of this show was you, as people who don't get to do this very often, can sit down and listen to a realtor and a lender, have a beer or a drink, and just talk about stuff that's going on. And we thought it would be fairly interesting. And here we are 5 years later or something, still doing the show with, very mild success, but we don't really care because we're doing the show and we have a blast doing it. So, my friend, what are you drinking today?
Today I have a Love Street Carbach. I know it's not really local anymore,
Yeah,
unfortunately, but
it's fine. It's all good, man. Yeah, you love your Love Street. That man likes his
do.
blonde ales. His wife's blonde too, by the way. You like blondes.
Hmm?
Good on you. Good on you. You like blondes. Yeah. I am drinking a vodka cocktail from my favorite vodka distillery, Goodnight Loving, right here in Dripping Springs, Texas.
Nice.
And I love this cup. Have you ever been to a painted Catholic church?
A painted Catholic church?
Yeah.
I can't say that I have.
So this is the church that I grew up going to. It's St. Cyril and Methodius in Shiner. And the painted churches, dude, like I went there growing up, so I didn't get it. But people travel from around the world to come see the churches because of all the leaded glass and the ornateness on the inside and all this other stuff. It's really cool. But that's what that is. So,
Cheers.
like this says on the bottom in my native tongue, Mastravi. Oh. And by the way, guys, the opening song is Steve's. And that's why, we're excited every time we play it. I just got to get
I am at least.
And by the way, we're going to talk about random stuff. We are definitely going to talk about homeowners potentially being screwed today. And if you want us to talk about anything else, drop it in the comments. We'll talk about anything. But man, I came up with a realtor that got arrested. Are you ready for this?
Yes, I love these. Yes, yes, please.
This is kind of crazy. Like, I'm going to start with this guy's picture. Okay. And we're going to play a game. And the game is, what did he get arrested for? And I know what you're going to say, but let's do this. This is a realtor. What did he get arrested for?
Oh God. Peeping in the windows. No. Let me see. Sneaking into homes that he's listed for sale and doing something he shouldn't.
Oh, that's a good thought. No, this young man got arrested for running drugs and guns and punching a guard. That guy right there.
Wait, what guard? Wait, so he happens to be licensed as a realtor?
He happens to be licensed as a realtor.
So this didn't have anything to do with anybody's house or...
He's just running drugs and guns.
Well, because of the way he looks, I bet you he feels like he has a lot to prove.
Possibly. But let's dive in. Real estate agents facing 95 years in prison.
Wow.
He's 27. He looks 17 or 16.
Yeah.
He looks like a kid. He's 27.
How old is he?
He's been indicted. 27. Federal charges including conspiracy of traffic firearms,
Must
conspiracy to
be
deal
nice.
without a license, conspiracy to distribute controlled substances, including cocaine. Investigators zeroed in on this guy working as a St. Johns County realtor after tracing guns seized in a drug raid back to him. Undercover agents bought 11 guns from his alleged co-conspirators who identified the agent as their firearm source. He got narked out. Federal sting found Hobbs bought more than 120 guns from legal dealers in Jacksonville with the intent to resell them without a license. He was allegedly aware that some of his buyers were narcotics dealers. The defendant would communicate with prospective buyers to arrange to sell firearms, and the defendant sent images of firearms for sale to prospective buyers. He told clients that he could get anything they wanted, and he is not a federally licensed dealer and paid in cash and narcotics, or was paid in cash and narcotics. The indictment indicated that severe drug addiction. He was pulled over with 330 grams of cocaine. That seems like a lot of cocaine. And 17
I mean,
grams.
when you measure it by the gram, then 330 seems like a lot, but
Yeah.
I'm no expert in that
Is that
department.
not, like, what's a gram of cocaine? How big is that?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay. They also found, the drug paraphernalia. Drug sale paraphernalia, including baggies. According to an arrest report, he told officers he didn't realize he had the drugs and that a surfer guy from Daytona asked him to deliver a box. He's also accused of assaulting a corrections officer after his arrest. He allegedly refused to move out of the way after officers attempted to place an inmate in his cell. And once the door began to open, I witnessed the defendant cock back his fist and strike the officer in the face, the papers read. Bold move, Cotton. Bold move.
Yeah, so this has nothing to do with real estate,
No, it doesn't.
except that he's a realtor.
It
He's
was
good though.
funny because, I mean, look, man, seriously.
So on that note, I know plenty of realtors that have problems with drugs, but they never last long. The ones that have been there for more than like 2 or 3 years, I'll tell you, the ones that have been there for like 10 or 15 years are either like the most nice, super nice, outgoing, best friend at the bar kind of person, or they're just very straight and down to business and like engineer type kind of person. It's really only those two types.
Correct.
The rest of them never really, at least as a full-time, just kill it machine, never really get there.
Right. And I've been a realtor for 14 years, and no, I do not have a drug problem.
I do Not the opposite, man. Half the time, I can't even get you to bring alcohol to the show.
That's fair.
It's all right. It's okay. I forgive you.
Interesting. I thought that was interesting. Okay, so next article I'm gonna pull up, and this is a little bit different. Oh no. Okay, Graham Stephan. He's a real estate investor. Are you familiar with him?
Yes.
YouTube, guru, all this other stuff. So he's telling people to stay away, and this is another game. What real estate investment is Graham Stephan telling people to stay away from?
Single family homes right now?
Nope.
No? Commercial?
Nope.
I'm going to run out soon. Go ahead and just tell me. Multifamilies or something? What?
Condos.
Oh, well, come on. I could have told you, I could have made an argument for that almost any year out of the last 20 years.
Exactly. That's why I brought it up. Right.
Okay. All right. Cool.
They're man, they fit a certain niche, but gosh almighty. The things that I know about condos is that they appreciate slower than any other real estate asset that I've dealt with, and they depreciate much faster when times turn.
Sounds like even
Florida
needs some
market
help.
is absolutely freaking overrun with condos right now.
I'll tell you what really sucks about the condos from the lending perspective is the HOA condo fee. Most HOAs are like 75 to 150 bucks a month from my experience. Condos, you're lucky if they start at 150 a month. I've seen them go all the way up to $800 a month if you're on the lake.
Yep, I just had a client that was looking at a lake condo and they were over 800 bucks a month.
So, you move into a house with no HOA and great, you're good. You just move in, right? Or you move into a condo that all of a sudden has, let's say $500 extra a month. It really eats into your buying power. I mean,
Yep.
severely in some cases,
Yeah.
hundreds of thousands worth.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't end there. He compared condo return to the gains you can typically find from a single family home, and the gap's gotten larger. Um, he said single family homes will win 9 times out of 10 compared to condos. You got to buy a condo right. Like you've got to buy it right in order for it to make
Now,
sense.
if you want to buy the condo building,
Oh, that's a different animal. Yeah. The
that
only
can be
exception
very
is if you
profitable.
bought a condo in a booming area. He referred to these as instances as buying a winning lottery ticket. I mean, that's, yeah. I mean, think about if you bought in Austin in 2019, a
Look,
condo
what people
downtown.
think of when they think of condos, if I'm not mistaken, is the homes down the street are 250,000, then the condo is going to be 90 or 120.
That's right.
And it's because it's much smaller, right? So and I don't get the whole house, and that's, I get it. Okay, I'll take that. And then they get there and they realize it's exactly the same price for less space in a lot of cases. And then there's this HOA/condo fee on there that all of a sudden they could buy double the house if they just buy a single family home without any kind of HOA.
Right.
um those aren't exact terms, but they're pretty close with the math I just laid out. It's pretty darn close.
Yep. Some of these fees are higher than monthly mortgage payments. Fees can go up every year. Yep, that's the other thing too. Your mortgage payment, well, your PITI can go up, but your principal and
Yeah,
interest
but
might.
also the fees of the condo fees. Hey, we need a new roof, everybody. We got to do a new reassessment.
And that's what I was going to say. Like, I'll explain a little bit more about it. First of all, like, look, part of the HOA does go to paying dwelling insurance because you don't insure as an owner, you don't insure the outside of the property. The HOA does. So that
Right, which is cute because the owners own the HOA. So you think you're getting away with it, but it's just a clever way of
okay,
saying you're not getting away with it.
yeah, you're still paying for it.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah. So Graham Stephan said, don't do it.
So tell me what would happen if it's not covered in insurance, and whatever the problem is, the building needs to come up with $1 million, or otherwise they have to be shut down. Who's it on? The HOA, right? Okay, and who owns the HOA? The people that live there. So guess who it's on,
That's right.
right? It's just a clever way of saying it's you. I don't know. Keep going.
Yeah. No, anytime the parking lot needs to be repaved, anytime the buildings need new roofs, they're going to do a capital raise from the owners.
Yep.
That's it. And if you own it as a lease and they do a capital raise investment, you're not going to pass that on to your owner or your tenants. That's on you.
Right.
There's not. I mean, you can raise your rent, but it's not like you can raise your rent $10,000 one month because they're going to repave the parking lot. So interesting. This was interesting. I liked it. Stefan didn't stop with condos. He also said the numbers currently don't make sense for buying a home instead of investing in a property. He looked at the Las Vegas market and determined that home prices would have to drop by 35 to 40% to have the same monthly mortgage payments as the current monthly rent payments. I mean, look, sure, in Las Vegas, and I'm sure there's other places where that's the same, but in Austin, they're about the same.
Well, he says home prices. What if we just did mortgage rates, right?
Well, no, what he's saying is that if you bought it with a mortgage,
Uh,
because of the rates, it would be the prices would have to drop to make the rate and the rent be the same, or
I will
the
be right
yeah,
back.
yeah,
Please
your rent.
excuse me.
Yeah, you're good. But yeah, in Austin, it's a lot closer to straight with the board guys. So I mean, there's areas where you can rent cheaper. You guys just got to decide what you want, like what you want that rental to look like is the biggest thing. And he said it's cheaper to rent unless he can get a 40% discount on a house. Then he doesn't have any overhead expenses and you don't feel a massive or don't need a massive down payment to rent a property. Yeah. So that is the good thing about renting is you don't have to come up with any type of down payment. Um, you don't have to come up with a down payment on all single family homes. Ask Steve about it if you need to, if you want to buy and you don't want a down payment. I mean, obviously there's VA loans and USDA loans, but VA doesn't apply to everybody. USDA doesn't apply to everybody and is not in every location. So you got to kind of watch what you're doing there. Um, he said that if he were moving right now, he would rent instead of buying a house. Buying a house may be more attractive when the rates go down, but you can currently save money renting instead of buying. However, some people prefer to buy a house anyway to raise a family or build equity. Easy enough. And the other thing that I'm going to do real quick on this is because we talked about it and it's bringing it up right now. Let's take a look at mortgage rates today. And I hadn't looked at these yet. Wait, there they are. Sorry. 6.25 dropped a little bit more. So we're probably going to be in that 6.25 range. For the Fed is going to drop rates on Wednesday. Everybody already knows that. That's already priced in. These have sunk a little bit more. The last thing I said is the last thing I saw is that the Fed is expected to drop them 25 basis points. Is that what you've been seeing now?
It'll be 50.
You think, okay. Last thing I saw today is they were thinking 25, so they were thinking there was going to be another potential drop next month, which is why we dropped 50 basis points off the 30-year fixed average, but we'll see what happens.
I think we'll have several drops moving forward. I think we're probably going to have QE again. I think.
Oh, you're going all the way to quantitative easing.
Oh yeah. I mean, how do you? So I also think Trump is determined to get rid of our debt.
Yeah,
I think he'd like that to be his legacy, and I think that if he did do it, there's only one real way to do it, which involves crashing crypto to prop up a golden-backed dollar. And if you start looking at some of the stuff that they've been either proposing, suggesting, or flat out trying to push through,
right.
and start connecting all the dots, it looks as though they may start transferring our debt to some sort of stable coin.
Interesting.
And then if they could crash the stable coin, they could then transfer over to a gold-backed dollar. It would essentially do what it did in the 70s, right?
Yeah.
And in the early 20s and 30s. But basically the currency would lose much value, like a ton of value. But then if you tagged it to gold at its depreciated value, and then revalue gold,
Gold. We've
you
talked
could
about
pay
that
off
before.
your debt with the revalued gold amounts that you have, and then back the currency on gold. So therefore, it would be stable again, even though it had been debased. And I honestly think that might actually happen.
That's a little scary. Because talk about widespread panic and
Well, maybe, but not for the asset owners. Those that
the asset
own
owner is going to be like, cool, let's go.
Right, those that own land, gold, assets.
Yep.
Right. Anyways, it's
And I
crazy
wanted
theory,
to.
I know.
No, I mean, hey, it's worth talking about. And I've read this guy Brian Westbury on here before. I wanted to go through this, at least part of it. So he says, if a tree fell in the woods, but the data said it didn't, did it really mean anything? In spite of what appeared to be relatively good data, many polls throughout the 2024 election cycle showed more than half of all voters rated the economy was poor. That left the Biden-Harris team often wondering why they couldn't get credit for what official statistics said was a robust economy. Now it looks like we know why. The Labor Department estimated it's going to need to revise down the amount of payroll growth over the last year by a total of 911,000 jobs. That doesn't mean payrolls outright decline during that period. What it means is that contrary to popular or prior reports of 147,000 jobs per month, jobs only grew at about 71,000 per month, ending March 2025. To be
Yeah,
clear, the revisions. Oh, go ahead.
but you needed at least 250, I think it was, thousand jobs per month just to sustain a percentage for the unemployment rate.
Right.
So just to keep the unemployment rate with the birth rate, you'd have to do like 250,000 jobs. Not quite the birth rate, but the number of people coming into the workforce each month.
Yeah. Yeah.
So to have 70,000 means we're having a loss in jobs every month. They make it sound nice and cheery. Keep going though.
Well, no, it doesn't stay cheery.
Okay. Oh, good. Fine. Great.
To be clear, the annual revisions are relatively small compared to total jobs, about 0.6% of the total jobs. And we've seen revisions this large before, but this is the third year in a row of downward revisions, which is unusual outside of dramatic events like dun 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 recessions. What all of this suggests is that the economy was much weaker last year than previous thought. At present, the official GDP reports say the economy grew 2% in the year ending in March, but reduced job growth from 147 to 71 per month. could mean noticeable downward revision of the real GDP growth when that annual revision is announced by the Commerce Department in late September. So we got about a week and a half.
May I ask you something?
Yep.
Have you seen any reports that Trump is angry with the new person that he replaced in the jobs numbers giving category?
I didn't know he replaced him yet.
He fired somebody that was the person
Yeah,
that
he
was.
fired her, but I
Yeah,
didn't see anything about him hiring anybody new yet.
yeah. It makes me wonder if the person he hired, he said, just I understand what they did. They're hiding the numbers. Just rip off the Band-Aid before they attack me with it, kind of thing.
Possible.
I don't know. Just again trying to read between the lines. Go ahead.
Yeah. Just as important is that now, after revisions, when we look back at the year ending in March 2025, government jobs plus government-dominated jobs in healthcare and social assistance made up for more than 100% of all jobs created. As it turns out, private sector jobs outside of these areas declined. No wonder the voters weren't happy about the economy. More importantly, from an economist standpoint, it clears up the economic mystery. After surging in the first 2 years of COVID, the M2 measure of the money supply declined from 2022 through late 2023, and economic growth appeared to be unaffected. No recession, no major slowdown. You and I talked about this last year. But what if government statisticians missed the slowdown and are just now getting around to finding it? Moreover, what if the economic effects of the decline in M2 are temporarily masked or hidden in 2024 by a combination of an unprecedented surge in immigration and, two, a reckless increase in the budget deficit? If so, the risk of a recession in the next year or so is likely to be higher than most investors believe. In the past several months, immigration policy has been turned on its head with a sudden shift from virtually open borders to what could be an immigration flow close to net zero. Meanwhile, the Congressional Budget Office is hinting that this year's budget deficit will be smaller than last year's relative to GDP, while DOGE cuts to bureaucrat jobs are reducing government employment. A lot of words. Here's the payoff. Long term, we believe, we being this group, believe a smaller government will pay dividends, leading to greater private sector growth and more prosperity. But in the very short term, less stimulus could lead to economic headwinds as workers and businesses have to adapt to the new environment. I mean, there's been a lot of changes that have been made in the last couple of months. In turn, it also means Federal Reserve is almost certainly going to cut rates Wednesday. We've talked about it. We think by a quarter of a percentage point, and we'll be inclined to cut rates further in the fourth quarter, likely by another half point total. Some investors will see this as a reason to tilt even more towards risky assets, but we're more concerned about the downside risk of these policy measures that are designed to protect us but we're more concerned about the downside risk these policy measures are designed to protect us from than the measures being taken themselves. If a fire truck shows up at a house, it's not a reason for civilians to run into the building, even if the data appears to say that there's no fire. I like it at the end. I like what he's saying.
So there's this study that shows that when a Republican president takes office, within 3 months, about half of the left feels as though the economy is in the shambles, and the exact opposite is true as well. And we've talked about this. So when a Democrat president takes office, about half of the Republican right will decide that the economy is in shambles. And right now, you've had something that's not normal, right? Where the president fires the person, that is in charge of all the numbers, and then replaces that person.
Right.
And so you've given everyone on the right fuel to say, "Ha! I knew the numbers were fake. Now your real person can give us the real numbers." And you've given everyone on the left an opportunity to say, "Wow, look at him fire people for just doing their job. And I wonder if the next person is crooked."
Yeah.
Right. And so all of a sudden we're in a situation where I don't think anybody really knows if the numbers are correct or not.
No.
Those on the right who even believe this was a good move might think, "I wonder what else they'll find. Have they found everything?" And those on the left who don't think it's a good move are going to think, "Well, this is complete corruption. These numbers are fake. It must be even worse." And a recession is mostly mental when you really think about it. It's not that your neighbor doesn't want that new computer or the bread down the street that's being made. It's that we think he doesn't. So you slow down production, let go some of your workers, and make it worse. Right. And I understand there are some real reasons for recessions, but a lot of it is mental past a certain degree.
Yep.
And man,
I feel it's a bitch, dude. It's
I
a real
feel as
deal.
though that fire has been fueled like crazy, especially with the political division we're now feeling
Yeah.
from recent events, which we don't have to get into. But the point is it wouldn't surprise me at all if we went into a deep recession, just out of fear alone.
Right. No, I agree. One of the things I like that First Trust does, and Brian's the, I think, chief financial officer or whatever, is they always put out, hey, these are the things that are coming this week. Manufacturing surveys already out. Holy crap, I didn't realize how far down it was. It had been positive last month. What's Ann saying? Oh, consumer confidence or lack thereof. Yeah, I've been saying that forever. I think that's the housing market issue is lack of consumer confidence. It's at an all time, and I don't know that it's that they don't have confidence. It's just that they don't know whether to shit or go blind at this point. They don't know. Nobody knows. You've heard that expression, right?
No, but one sounds much more preferable, I think.
I don't.
It doesn't seem like a tough decision. So I mean, maybe we could rephrase that phrase just a little bit. That's Luke.
It's supposed to be that they don't know anything about anything, but yes, one is more preferable. Hey, Luke, what's up, buddy?
Whoa. How are you? You want to say hi to the cameras here, kiddo? Come here.
Hey, Luke.
No, he does not want to say hi to the cameras. He
Not at
wants me
all,
to go
man.
someplace. I'll go
Um,
with you. Let's do it. Keep going.
but I like seeing I like seeing the projections here. So we've got retail sales coming out. Projections are supposed to be up, not as high as last month, but up. Auto sales supposed to be up. These are the two that are interesting to me. Import prices and export prices are both forecast to be down. Um, that flies in the face of tariff talking points.
It might, except that it's going both ways.
But
That suggests a
really,
total slowdown in an industry.
I see what you're saying. Well, and again, if you look back up at the top, okay, I see what you're saying because manufacturing was down. The survey was down. So, okay, that makes sense. All right. Industrial production also down. Um, Capacity utilization is going to be down. So, again, yep, you're right. Manufacturing down. Business inventories up a little bit, which is why manufacturing is slowing down. Housing starts have slowed, but we've known that housing starts are slowing down this time of year. Jobless claims are up, initial claims, and the Fed survey. Wow, they're really against the consensus on the Fed survey. They think this is going to be extremely negative. The consensus is thinking that it's going to maintain. I don't know. That's interesting to me all the way around.
I'm sitting here talking to you like you can hear me. Almost
Oh,
everybody on both sides knows that the numbers were false, right? The
yeah,
question is who was doing it? Was it a group? Was it anyway? So we really don't know who was doing it, right? Everybody can guess, but nobody really knows. And the question isn't so much were the numbers fake; it's are they real now?
yeah,
But
exactly.
yeah, I mean, things are looking bad after you do a report like that. There's got to be a reason for it, right?
Exactly. And Ann said you're not from the South. That's the reason you've never heard that. Um,
She's right. She's right. I can't argue that. I can't argue that.
the other one is you don't know shit from Shinola. So
They're all new to me down here. They're all new. Sorry. Been here for almost 20 years and they're still all new to me.
oh, it's all good. It's all good. I don't know, man. We've been running for a while, so I'm not going to get to that last article. Well, you know what? I do want to kind of touch on it a little bit. Um, so this is an article that's talking about the riskiest factors for residential real estate markets. Um, the subheadline caught my eye. California and New Jersey combined for 23 of the 50 most at-risk areas in the first quarter special housing risk report. Adam is a company that does risk reports for housing market. Um, that's crazy.
Okay.
Just those two areas. But here's kind of what I wanted to look at: the 10 most underwater counties in the United States. 4 of them in California, 2 of them in New Jersey, 2 of them in Illinois,
Ouch.
which kind of blows my mind.
I'm seeing
Hidalgo
Texas
County,
there.
but just one of them, Hidalgo County, which is I think San Juan, far San Juan Alamo area. What's the what starts with an M? I can't think of the name of the other town. And then
I'm
one
not
of them
from
is
Texas, remember?
south of Tampa. That's kind of crazy that those are the most underwater. And I'm guessing they just no that I was gonna say I'm guessing that they didn't do much during COVID. I don't know. I'm not sure why. But if you notice the California ones are northern and eastern, not along the coast.
Definitely interesting.
Yeah. Um anyway, I just wanted to kind of pop that up there as a talking point, and I'll link this in the comments, guys, if y'all want to go through there. I don't want to read through the whole thing and just keep talking nonstop, but if y'all are interested in that article, I just popped it into the comments, and I'll link Brian's article as well. And if y'all don't subscribe to First Trust and Brian Westbury, he sends this out every Monday. It's an email, and it is economic data, and it's awesome. I highly suggest following this group. They're good dudes.
If you're a nerd like us, then it's very interesting. Yes.
Yeah, if you're not a data person, it's not much for watching. But anyway,
Otherwise, just ask us. We'll just give you the answer.
yeah, that's right. That's right. We will. Man, anything else?
I had to go into dad mode here at the end, so no, not for me.
No, you're good. I got a pretty interesting experience this weekend.
Tell me about it.
I saw my second Great Lake,
What?
Lake
Which
Michigan.
one?
Lake Michigan.
Nice. That's the Great Lake.
Do you want an interesting story? Do you have 5 more minutes or 10 more minutes?
Sure, I might have to mute myself, put the phone down, but yeah, man, go ahead.
That's fine. So my wife and I went to the A&M Notre Dame football game this weekend. Okay. Flew into Chicago. We accidentally flew into O'Hare. We shouldn't have done that, to drive to South Bend, Indiana, right?
And that's
And
familiar territory. Yes.
we landed in Chicago at like 2 in the afternoon on a Friday. And so we battled traffic all the way across Chicago. And by the time we got into Indiana, we were a little grumpy, a little at each other's throats. And it was like, okay, let's find a brewery. We need a brewery. And so I'm like on the phone.
Need a drink. Yes.
I'm like, okay, found a brewery. She's like, what is it? I was like, I don't know. It's the closest one. We're going to a brewery. Okay. So we roll off the interstate and we pull up to this place. It's called 18th Street Brewing Company. I'm like, sweet. It's this little corner. It's like an old building. It looks cool. Let's go. We're rolling up. And my wife looks up. She goes, oh, we're in Gary, Indiana. And I'm like, why do I know Gary, Indiana?
Oh, yeah.
Why
Oh,
does that
yeah.
sound familiar?
Little five, man.
Right. So that was the first thing. You get on Wikipedia and it's the Jackson Five, home of the Jackson Five. And I'm like, this is cool.
Oh, I said little five because they have this big party there once a year.
Oh,
Yeah, sorry. Keep going. Keep going.
gotcha.
College town.
It's a college town too.
Yeah, yeah. It's Indiana University. Oh, no. No, don't do that. What'd you just do? All righty then. I have an autistic child here. His name is Luke, and
Hey, Luke,
he
what's up?
really, 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 really wants French fries from the air fryer, and he was just pressing buttons on the air fryer. So hi, yes. Sorry, keep going ahead. Go ahead. Sorry, you are Gary, Indiana. Keep going.
And Carolyn is saying, and somebody else said this weekend. Actually, I guess that's where Music Man is set. Is in Gary as well. So we roll into this brewery and sit down, and we're talking to some folks in there. And when we get in, it's the bartender, an old lady next to me, and then an old gentleman on the other side of her, and that's it in the whole place. Some more folks start to filter in, Friday afternoon, right around 5 o'clock, and they're filtering in, and we're just having this conversation. And it didn't shock me because we had just come through Chicago, but we were the only white people in the brewery. And I'm like, cool, whatever. Talking to the bartender, talking to folks. This couple comes and sits down next to us, and we're talking to him, and we just have a great conversation. He grew up in Gary. She grew up in Arizona. She ended up going to college in Chicago. they met in Chicago. They had moved back to Gary, and we're just having this great conversation about Gary, Indiana. And they told me, I had no idea. Like, I don't know the story of this place. At some point in the 60s or the 70s, there was a black mayor of Gary, Indiana. And he basically came out and said, we don't want any white people in Gary, Indiana. True story. And this is coming from folks, that have lived there their whole lives. And they were kind of bemoaning, like, you're muted, Doug.
It's nice of them to tell you that while you were visiting.
Well, yeah. And it was
welcome. You're not welcome here. Is that what it sounded like to you?
Not at all. Not at all.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Not at all. No. They were super nice people. And in fact, we probably talked to them for an hour and a half. It was awesome. But they were saying, because I was trying to figure out what was going on in Gary, like why do people come there? Why do people live there, and just understanding the area. And they said that to this day, that they really can't get corporations into Gary because of that, when that happened way back when. So they said Gary had been really, really big. It basically went from Chicago damn near to South Bend. And when he said that, all these little suburbs started creating their own townships and kind of segregated themselves from Gary, or I guess they were asked to segregate themselves from Gary. But they said all the white people left, all the businesses left with them, and to this day, there's not any like large businesses. They were like, we were supposed to get a Sonic, but Sonic went to a town like three towns over. They were supposed to get a Starbucks. Starbucks decided to go somewhere else. Target decided to build in another town. So to this day, they can't get corporations to come to Gary, Indiana. The only corporations that are there are large steel mills, and I think there's 2 of them.
That's weird. And it's also a college town. So you'd think some of the college kids would have wanted to start businesses. That must mean their business not very business friendly, I would assume. The college kids don't know the past. They don't care. They just want a cheap place to start up,
Yeah, and these folks said that there's smaller businesses there, and that they're doing well. And I don't know, maybe some of them are by college kids, but I started anyway. The whole story here was going to Lake Michigan, and I'm like, so how far away is the lake? And they're like, oh, it's just a couple miles up the road. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, can you get there, or can you actually see it? And they're like, we've got some of the most beautiful beaches in North America. And I'm like, what? And he was telling us, like, you go and there's this park, and okay, this is how you drive. Okay, cool. So we leave there and go and drive up, and it's just, you walk out. He called it White Sand Beach. My wife said it's not white, it's more like beige. Whatever. I'm walking out there, she's saying it's beige, and I'm like, this is way better than Galveston or South Padre. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, and there's no sharks.
The water's bluish and like not massive waves. The beach is probably 80 to 100 yards deep.
Yeah, don't tell anybody.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, don't tell anyone.
So that's my second experience at a Great Lake. The first time was fishing, and this was on a beach, and it was really cool.
Great Lakes are pretty outstanding. I'll tell you, there was a saying down there that seems to be a saying here, ironically enough, which is, if you don't like the weather, just wait 15 minutes. That's my boy Luke. I don't know if you can hear that. But yeah, that's, from the Great Lakes, the weather, it would affect weather patterns.
I was laughing to my wife, like, obviously you cannot see across Lake Michigan. No. But I was laughing going, well, we're probably like 100 miles from Canada. And I looked it up, and it's over 150 miles to Canada.
Right. Right. You can't see that far. You just can't. There's one section that I remember in Grosse Pointe, Michigan, where you could, on a very clear day, you could look across well, they basically call it a river, but it's not. It's the lake. But
between the 2 lakes, yeah.
Yeah, but no, for the most part, no, it's massive. Anyone that has not been there can't quite imagine how massive it is. It's
pretty cool.
It's like biblically massive. You don't understand how much water it is. Go up into it looks like an ocean.
Yeah, it legitimately looks like an ocean.
It's even been recorded with buoys as having rogue waves, like big old rogue waves, right? And so,
Like
shoot.
there's history of waves taking down tanker ships.
Yes, yeah, and they've scientists have found, scuba divers actually found another Stonehenge under the water.
What?
Yeah, it's the same stone circles. You can look it up. They won't release where it is, but because they don't want people going there. But they've told scientists where it is, and they've gone there and done studies afterwards. You could look it up right now. Yeah, Michigan Stonehenge. Yeah, can't speak.
Okay.
Look at his face when he finds out I'm right. I love it.
No, it says there isn't a structure in the Great Lakes comparable to the famous Stonehenge. Instead, what's been found is a 9,000-year-old man-made stone formation on the floor of Lake Michigan.
Cute. It's a circle of stones.
Yeah, I don't
Maybe
know
it's
why
not as big as Stonehenge, but it's they were calling it Michigan Stonehenge, and I've seen a picture of it. Yeah.
it was discovered in 07. Okay, hang on.
By divers.
Yeah.
They don't want to make it like a site that everybody goes to.
Right. Michigan Stonehenge.
Think about it. The Great Lakes were supposed to have been. Go ahead.
Oh, they're saying it's sensationalized. I'm like, it's a circle of stones. That's pretty sensational. It's thought to be a prehistoric hunting structure, possibly used to herd animals like mastodon.
Right.
And that's depicted on one of the stones. What the crap?
So the problem with all of this is that you then have to date back humans prior to the Ice Age.
Oh, mind blown.
The scientists didn't like it when it came out because it kills their timeline of humanity, right? Because you've got the Ice Age, the polar ice melted, and then as it melted, it scraped away parts of the earth and formed the Great Lakes. Everybody in Michigan is taught this when they're grown up, just like y'all have your Texas history. We had our Michigan history, right? And okay, well, if that's the case, then before there was somehow a massive amount of ice that showed up, there were people that lived here, which would have been well before the Younger Dryads, which means we're talking, what, 24,000 years ago, something like that? People could do stone stuff like that? There you go. Wow. There you go. That's the picture I've seen. It's not quite Stonehenge, but come on.
But still.
Yeah, because I'm a hunter, I need to go hunt animals wherever they roam, and I need to make pillars. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense, man. But either way, I don't know what it is.
And there's the picture of the mastodon.
Right. That's lasted how long underwater? Well, how the hell do you color with something that lasts that? I mean, unbelievable.
Right. I'm trying to back up to here. It's smaller and less complex than the original Stonehenge. Okay, whatever. Some of them as large as a car. The pattern includes a perfect hexagon. Likely built on dry land when lake levels were lower. This would allow them to access. I mean, obviously there wasn't water there when it was built.
Pretty cool, huh?
Long line and a hexagon.
You want to know something else that's really, really cool?
Yes.
There are, I believe it's bronze, one of the lesser metals, but there's a mine there that was found, and they found tools and carbon dated them further than 80,000 years old.
I will say this: carbon dating is BS. But
well, then my story is not very cool.
No. And I don't mean it like that. They like the accuracy of carbon dating is very subject.
I can imagine,
because there have been studies and like, not really studies, more like trolling attempts, where people have brought things to scientists going, this is an ancient artifact. It was made like in the 20s or 30s, and scientists are like, oh, it's 18,000 years old. And yeah, so carbon dating's tough. Maybe they're getting better now.
The problem is that the material itself could have existed before it was shaped into something else.
And that's what I've always, like that was the thing, right? It could be a really old metal that was just restructured into something else. I'm not sure. But holy crap, Stonehenge in Lake Michigan. Okay.
Should end the show on that one. I don't think I can top that one. I'm not sure.
So that was a great segue from Gary, Indiana, to me on the beach to let's wrap it
Let's
up.
make it real estate related. Location matters. Location matters. And if you build at the bottom of a valley that's surrounded, a great flood could take you out.
Correct. It's a fact. Wait, is that real estate? Or
So I'm just talking about Stonehenge at the
travel
bottom of
time.
Lake Michigan. I don't know. I got nothing.
Always check your FEMA flood maps. All right, guys.
There you go. Actually, that's a good one. That's a much better one. Yes.
We'll see y'all next week.
Till next time, sir.